welcome to the Media Club podcast. Last episode, we talked about AI and ChatGPT, and today we're just going to be talking about our thoughts on public education. And so, before we begin on today's topic, we're just going to introduce our speakers. We're just going to say our name, our grade, our school, and we're also just going to talk about what was our favorite lunch at school. Hi, I'm Joseph. I'm a senior at Cypress High School, and I really like the Uncrustables that I used to get. So yeah, those are really good.
Okay, so my name is Kaylin Kim. I'm a senior at Sunny Hills High School, and usually I bring my own lunch, but in terms of school lunch, I think the pizza is the most bearable.
Yeah, definitely. We have like pizza on every Thursday, I think, and that's pretty good as well. And just for, we could just have her introduce herself when she comes back. But yeah, we're just going to be talking about the public education system. And so why don't we just get started with talking about our experiences with public education. So Kayla, have you ever been to like a private school or anything like that?
For like preschool and pre-K, I did because like the elementary school that I went to and the one like in Fullerton, they didn't have preschool and pre-K when I like was going. So I went to a private school just for those 2 years, and then everywhere else I've been to public school.
Yeah, me too. It was pretty much the same for me. I grew up in LA, and so I went to a like preschool, like kindergarten type situation in LA, and that was private because they didn't offer that. And then after from elementary, middle, and high school, I just went to public school. And so I think like in general, the experiences of going to a public school, I definitely enjoyed it. Honestly, I think it was really good because I personally got to meet a lot of different people and it was really nice, I think, especially just the diversity of it all. What did you think about your experiences in public school, Kaylin?
For me, like I don't have that many memories from like when I went to private school for like preschool and pre-K, but I remember the classes were like a lot smaller. But then public school, definitely the classes are a lot bigger, but I really enjoyed it too. I had a lot of like friends and like fun things going on at my school. And overall, I feel like it was a nice experience.
Yeah, and if you just want to introduce yourself and then maybe after that you could just talk about like if you ever attended a school that wasn't a public school.
Is Yuna, and I'm a senior at Yorba Linda High School, and my favorite lunch is nacho fries. And besides public school, I went to a charter school, so it's like we don't get money, but like people volunteer. So like the lunch ladies are all volunteers, and it was a pretty good school.
Nice. And what like grades did you go to the charter school from?
I went fifth grade and sixth grade.
Okay, yeah, that's would you say like there were any huge differences between charter school and regular public school, or was it pretty much the same, do you think?
Specifically for my school, we were a technology-based school, so like everyone had Chromebook and like you had your own personal one, and they have like a lot of rent. Public school is a lot more scarier. I don't know, the people are a lot more like in cliques, and it's like harder to like talk with people.
Right. I would agree to like a certain degree with that. And I think this just kind of goes pretty well into our next question, which is just talking about how was the atmosphere of like public high schools? What do you think like the school culture is like, at least for the school that I go to? I think it's very diverse, like I mentioned, and I think we are a pretty big sports school. We are pretty good with our baseball team and our football team, and so there is definitely like a sports scene at our school. But in general, I would say that people are friendly and people are nice. There's not too many bad things going on in our school, and yeah, I think it's a really nice culture to really grow up in.
My high school is one out of eight in our district, and so like people definitely have different stereotypes about each school. Like, Troy has like the smart reputation, but then I feel like my school is pretty well rounded. Like we have an agriculture program, we have a lot of different sports and like Epic, Avid, IB, AP, like all those stuff. So I feel like that's nice. And there's some like stereotypes about my school that we have like not as much as some of the others, but like some dangerous activity, like drug activity, bomb threats. But I think you just have to understand that that's only like a small group of our school and they're not really like spread around. It's just like between those people. And so, yeah, so far I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and how about you, Yuna? Do you like going to your school and like just the general atmosphere, maybe some other people and their views about your school?
My school is a very sport-based school. We're really good with sports. We're smart too, but like we're majority. I wouldn't really say this high school has cliques, but like the ASB people, a lot of people are like either scared of them or annoyed of them because they're like the top people and they're either like really popular or bossy.
I see, I see. Yeah, and so I think also something that you talked about, was about technology. And I know that a lot of the time, charter schools and private schools especially, they have more technology, they get more funding, things like that. Um, and so how do we just generally feel about the level of technology? Do you think you guys could use more Chromebooks and more laptops and whatnot at your school?
Personally for me, I prefer Chromebooks over like three notebooks because like it's really heavy and Chromebook is just one thing.
Yeah, me too. Like I like having my Chromebook, but I don't know, maybe these are just kind of like spoiled complaints, but like they're really heavy. And also like I don't think the quality is really there. They're really like laggy and sometimes always someone has to go to the library and like fix their Chromebook or work out like a Wi-Fi issue. So I think that's kind of a problem. I feel like I'd rather have like a different computer, maybe like a thinner one. But yeah, I mean, we have TVs in every room and like every teacher has like a computer and like a PC. So
Yeah, I would say my school is pretty much the same. All the teachers have like projectors and some have smart boards and whatnot, but I think this is for all the schools in my district that the district is trying to move away from like pen and paper. And so starting from last year, I believe they gave all of their students like an individual Chromebook that they could like take home and whatnot and basically give back to the school at the end of their high school career. And so far, I think I just use my personal Chromebook just because I like having everything on one device. But I've used the school Chromebooks, and I think they work pretty well. Yeah, I really don't have too many complaints about it, but I know that some people think that working on pen and paper is better. So honestly, I think it's just a double-edged sword. It's just kind of the nature of getting more technology. How about I know we also talked about some of the classes. Like I know Kaylin, you mentioned that you guys have like a agriculture class. So why don't we just like maybe say some of the classes that are like most interesting that our school offers? I think our school has actually a lot of different courses. We have a lot of courses in partnership with other schools in our district. And so I think we have something like an agriculture program as well. And at our school, we have medical careers. And so it like specifically goes into like sports medicine and different types of medicine. So I think that's really cool. And I've personally done the legal careers, and we have two different like legal tracks, and so I think that's also really convenient. Yeah, but we have a lot of courses, like even like robotics, engineering, things like that, computer science, and so I think we're pretty well rounded, and I think it's just generally good because like students, I know a lot of students who've done like two different tracks to kind of explore what they want to do, and I think it's works out for the best.
for my school, we also have like sports medicine and medical careers. I think we also have like a new class called like racial studies or something like that. It's like an interdisciplinary class. And then we have apes too. I think we have like 3D design and I don't know what it's called. It's like auto mechanic. It's like some sort of like class where you're like working with cars and stuff. And then we also have like yearbook, newspaper, computer science.
What districts does everyone like go to? I go to the Anaheim AUHSD district.
Oh, I go to FJUHSD, Fullerton District.
I go to Placentia.
Okay, so yeah, we have a pretty good spread of districts and people from different regions, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. Let's move on to talking a little bit about our teachers. And so, what do you think about your teachers? Do you think the teachers at your school are really good? Do you think that they can teach really well and they really care about their students, or do you have some qualms and reservations about your teachers?
For my school, I feel like overall we have pretty good teachers. Like in each subject, we have like at least one or two good teachers. But I have to say, like some of them are like overdue. They've been here for too long. They're too lazy and they just don't even have a good reputation. But like, yeah, I know money is part of it. They're probably like racking up their pension, but yeah, some of them left and some of them are still there.
I feel so bad because one's like 80 something and he has like so much passion for teaching, but like I'm so scared for him because like high school is intense and I feel like he has enough money saved up because like he's been here since like the school opened.
Yeah, I would pretty much say it's the same for my school. I think the majority of the teachers, I would say like almost 95% of the teachers are there because they really love teaching. And yeah, like the legal careers teacher, I'm pretty familiar with her. She used to be a lawyer. She used to make tons of money. She always tells us this, but yeah, she decided to get out of that and like teach because she really just wanted to teach and she found that more rewarding. And yeah, and she's super fun, she's super nice, and she actually is a very good teacher too. And so yeah, I think there are a lot of teachers like that. And I think it's more prevalent in high school, especially because there isn't as much of a financial incentive attached to it. And so yeah. Do you guys think that the quality of teachers differs from like public to um private schools, or do you think that they would be pretty much the same?
I wonder like the same just because I've never really been to a private high school, but I've seen like some videos and I feel like especially in Southern California, like maybe our public high school teachers are especially better, but yeah, I just wonder if there are like different qualifications to become a private school versus public school teacher.
Yeah, and I know I was talking to one of my teachers about this, and I think California is a bit strange as because they require specific credentials for teaching. I know that like for other states, you can literally teach if you've been in the industry for long enough. So like if you're like a scientist, then you could be a biology teacher or whatnot. But yeah, I think in California it's a bit different because you need to go to school for that, and so there's like that added education on top of that. Other than that, what do you guys think are the biggest differences in terms of maybe quality of education or like facilities between private schools and public schools?
I don't really have an answer for that, but I think like maybe I don't know how like the hiring process goes, but like maybe they're more strict with like the people, the teachers like they're hiring. And that like determines like how well they teach and that determines the education level.
Yeah, I think that might change the teachers that are at private schools. I think one really big thing for me was I went to Marlboro a couple times. It's a all girls private school in LA, and yeah, it's it's very expensive per semester. And I just I got to go into a couple of the classrooms because I was there for like a debate competition, and so we used some of their rooms and we were out on the field as well and things like that. But their rooms are really nice, and the class sizes they had very few desks in each room, so I think the class sizes were a lot smaller too, and their facilities were just really, really nice. And so I think that's the biggest thing, at least for me, that I saw a difference in.
Yeah, I feel like since we're in California too, I don't know if there's a big difference in like the quality of education between public and private. schools. Obviously, it depends on where you're going, but I feel like in our area, it's still comparable because, yeah, they have like a lot better campuses, like their pools, especially, and like the carpet's not doesn't look like it's decaying and things like that. But then, but other than that, I don't think there's a big difference. But other than that, I don't think there's a big difference in like the quality of education.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Um, let's also talk about the like counselors and the administration with the teachers. Do you guys think that the academic counselors are helpful in trying to help you guys with your classes or helping you guys with college? Or do you think that there's just like too much for them to do and maybe they can't get to everybody?
I'm very annoying to my school counselor. I ask her so many questions, and she actually helps a lot. And she's new to the district, and she's like really helping me a lot. So I think counselors are very helpful.
For my school, I don't know, maybe we just have like too few of a number of counselors. We have like only four for like I think 2,000 students. So it's hard for them to keep track and they're always like really annoyed when you ask them questions. So that's that. But yeah, I don't think they're very good at doing their job. They don't really give us many resources either. They gave us like Naviance, but I logged into that once and I don't really know how to use it. They don't really check in on us. We have a Google Classroom, but yeah, they're just overall really annoyed. But I mean, I get it, but also it's kind of their job. So
Yeah, I think my school's in a similar situation. I forgot how many students we have in total, but we also only have four counselors. And yeah, I can tell that the counselors really, really enjoy their jobs and they want to be there. But I think it's just the nature of like the situation is that they can't get to everyone and they're always really busy. And so yeah, I think the counselors do try their hardest though, and I know that they've been pretty helpful for me, and they're just mostly restricted by the number of things they need to do. Um, yeah, and also the administration. I know for me personally, the administration, like we have this thing called Raising Student Voices and Participation. It's kind of like our student council almost, or like our student government. It just like we do summits and which are like which are basically school-wide meetings. And so we have RSVP people go into every single room and we just talk about like, oh, what are some issues that you have? And this is all led by students. And so it's like students talking to students. We just go around saying like, oh, what are some of the issues? And then we do some of the solutions. And then we also like do a summit about updating them on what has happened and like what we have done to improve the school. And administration is a big part of that. And I think personally us having like that system is really good because the administration gets to listen to us a lot. Do you guys have any of like those systems at your schools, or do you think the administration is really good about listening to the problems that they have to fix?
I think my district has something similar. I forgot what it's called, but basically, like all the ASBs of like the 8 high schools in my district meet at a different high school each month and they kind of discuss like what's going on, what they have planned, and like what kind of problems they need to fix and the proposals. So I think they're pretty good about doing that. And my school in particular, like I think we're pretty good about making changes.
I don't know if my school does something similar, but like I do know that the ASB does not listen to us because like we always suggest new ideas, but they always go the opposite. I don't know if it's a coincidence or they're just trying to mess with us, but like it's mean.
Oh, wow, it seems like you have it really tough, you know. I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, let's kind of just move on to wrapping up our episode this month. And so as for our final class, or not class, excuse me, as for our final question, would you, if you had a child, would you want to send them to public or private school, and why?
For me, if I was living in like Kentucky or like, Louisiana or something, I would probably send them to like a private school if they even have one. But if I stayed here in like Southern California, or I think some districts in Northern California too, I would probably send them to a public school. I don't think there's much of a difference, and I want my children to experience like a more diverse community. I know our community is like mostly Asian, but still more people, more teachers.
For me, I would probably send them to public school regardless of like my socioeconomic status. And yeah, I think it's mostly going back to kind of what Yuna said. I think that it builds character, and there's just so many different like diverse personalities that you get to meet. And I don't think that I would want my children to grow up in a private school, especially because I think it's a more sheltered environment. And yeah, I just want them meeting more people, being around a diverse group of people. And so yeah, I think I would choose private school or public school, excuse me. And so, with that being said, thank you for listening to this month's podcast episode about public education. And make sure to check in next month to see what we talk about next. Thank you.